Trail races seem to get longer and longer, and ultras seem to be the top topic at the moment. And while here at Outside we sell everything you need for an ultra race, from ultralight trousers and bivy bags and things like that, I myself don't run ultras and I don't know loads about it. Luckily, our local resident runner, Tom, is here to show us what's in his pack and, more importantly in my eyes, how he packs it and what he might use while running an ultra.
I'm currently preparing and training for the Dig Deep Ultra, which is at the end of August. This is the pack I'll be using. This Ultimate Direction vest is typically what I'll go for in a race of around 50 kilometers. I do a lot of long distance events, whether that's training or a race. I'll be out and running for sometimes 5-6 hours. And if you're running for that sort of length, you do need a pack that contains all your essentials. I really appreciate a pack that's lightweight, that's compact, but also manages to fit in everything I need. And with really easy access as well, it really helps. So the good thing about this pack is that we've got 2 zip pockets here, which I really like, because I can stick the phone in, I can stick gels in there if I want, but it's also got the opportunity to stuff a load of gels and bars or whatever else you need to stuff that's easy access into this section here. And you've got that on both sides. The other thing that is awesome and that I really like about this pack is the access to the bottles. The bottles are quite chunky and small compared to a typical soft flask. The good thing about that is that they don't feel like they're wobbling around too much when you put them in. So I think a lot of people will notice that quite a few running packs out there will be really quite difficult to stuff your bottles in, whereas this just fits in really nice. And it doesn't really have an issue of kind of like bouncing around when you're running. I don't tend to use these, but these are also like a really nice feature to just keep the bottle in place. These little blue straps here, you can just tuck it around the top of that soft flask there. In terms of movement of the pack when I'm running, that's another kind of standout feature, is that you'll kind of see from when I'm bouncing around here that there's really not any kind of wobble, any rub. Like you're always going to get a little bit of movement from the soft part, but that's totally natural. I'm carrying probably a fair bit of weight right now with all my mandatory gear, and it doesn't feel like it's kind of like a second skin, which is always really nice. Make sure you get the right fit so that it does fit around the arms without it feeling like you're rubbing too much, because that's another thing that is particularly good for this bag for me, is that it fits just where I don't ever notice it when I'm rubbing my arms, and that's obviously something you have to take care of when you're running. So what have I got in here and how do I fit it in? We'll start off with fueling, because I think that is the most important thing to make sure you get around. I populate the front end of the pack with fuel. So these little kind of kangaroo style pockets are just stuffed with gels. You know, I've got a couple of caffeine gels in there, a couple of beta fuel gels in there. I say a couple, I've got way more than a couple. I'm absolutely full of them. Bottles obviously going in the bottle holders. In the Ziploc pockets close to my chest, I've got my phone in here just in case I need to make any emergency calls, have a double check of the map, that sort of thing. So that is just there in case. Moving on to the back, there's a number of different things that are quite exciting in here, mainly because they're lightweight, they're easy to pack, and they all meet the standards of the mandatory gear. So first off, a nice warm pair of gloves. It's worth noting that this mandatory kit list particularly is for summer races, so I don't have to have anything super warm, but a toasty warm pair of gloves, especially that have got this kind of grip on them, are really good for a race like this, because you might actually end up getting kind of just a little bit cold on the day. The next bit of mandatory kit is waterproof trousers. Essentially, really, for a race like this, you're going to need a full body cover, and that's a waterproof rain jacket and waterproof trousers. And so the ones I've gone for here are the Rab Phantom waterproof trousers that are unbelievably light and also really comfortable. They've got a really interesting fit lock system with this zip tie here, where you can kind of just clamber it on really easily over your shoes, over anything, and they'll keep you warm, toasty in the situation where you need to use them. They also pack up really small, which is a massive benefit when you're using a 6-litre pack like this one. Next up is a waterproof coat. Same, also from Rab, also called the Phantom, and it's essentially just a matching bit of kit to go with the waterproof trousers. The good thing about this coat is that although, of course, it's very light, it is really effective, and it keeps you really warm, even if it's not raining. If you just get a bit cold over the top of one of the edges, or if it's really windy over Win Hill, I'm going to really want to just like chuck this on for a few kilometers, or if it's just for the descent whilst I'm going down and putting a little bit less effort in. Next up is a first aid kit. This is a really, really important thing to be taking. Some races include it in the mandatory kit and others don't. I think it's a really important thing to take, whether they include it or not, because you never know what's going to happen. Again, it's a long time, maybe 5+ hours, out running, and it's over technical terrain as well. So if you have a fall, if you hit if you hit leg, hit head, hit anything like that, it's really, really good to have a first aid kit. So be sure to take one of those. And then if things get really bad and the first aid kit isn't quite enough, you are going to want to take a bivvy. Again, almost always part of a mandatory kit, a bivvy or a foil blanket. It is just an essential thing. You just don't know what's going to happen out there, so it's worth carrying it. Again, even if it isn't in the mandatory kit list. That's the bulk of the kind of body of the bag. So all of this stuff that I can grab out, the raincoats and the rain jacket at the top and the gloves at the top, so that I can get them really easily if necessary. In this zip pocket comes all of the kind of extras that are mandatory in a summer race, but maybe not necessarily something I'm going to be grabbing to go for all the time. First off is a head torch, and this is a super light one. It's great for carrying in a race because it's not going to be not going to be taking up too much weight. It's also unlikely that I'll be using it in the Dig Deep 30. Long days, 5 hours starting early in the morning. I probably won't be using it, but you never know. Again, anything can happen. Next up on the mandatory list, we've got a map. I've taken 2 maps here because I value space and practicality over a bigger, wider map. So we've got a Peak District North and a Peak District South map, which will cover elements of the course, both in there. So they just fold into there really nicely. Raincoat's going on. If anything can happen, and now it has started raining on a lovely day in July. Another bit of mandatory kit that's worth pointing out is a compass. It's a waymarked course at Dig Deep, but it is worth having it just in case you go off course and you're really unsure. You might be a new area that you're running in, and so you just need to know which direction you're going. So this is a really important bit of kit. A race cup. So this is just for when I get to those aid stations, filling up some water, being able to just neck it. Obviously, I'll fill up my soft flasks in the aid stations as well, but I might just want, if it's a hot day, a little bit extra water, and it's just a nice thing to like chuck over your head as well if you're in need of that. I will also bring along a carbohydrate drink mix, and this is just a really simple to use. Just rip it open, pour it in your soft flask, add water. Boom, jobs are good, and that's another 100 grams of carbohydrate. When times get tough, I like to get the earphones out and play music. I don't often do this, but sometimes you get in a really dark place and you just need a bit of extra motivation, so it's good to have them in the pack just in case. So I'll pop it all in, and you can kind of see how the space really works. So I tend to do it in a bit of an order really. So I'll pop the kind of things that I'll be least likely to use in at the bottom. So hopefully the bivvy bag, the first aid kit and the map are the things that I'd least likely use. Gloves, kind of in order. Waterproof trousers, and then finally my waterproof coat. Again, all these things packed down very, very well into this bag. And every single thing you stuff into here makes it bounce a little bit less too. And just always a little tip is to just always close it at the top to stop anything from falling out. It's got a whistle here, it's got a whistle there. So if you're in need of making a bit of noise, you won't be short of whistles. Compass and all of the other kind of techie bits like earphones, head torch, they go in this little side pocket here so that I can access them whilst I'm running, but it's not super easy access at the same time. Same with the old race cup and the carbohydrate drink mix, which I use in case of emergencies and I'm really low on energy. As we've seen, the energy gels fit in really easily to this bit, and the phone is in the zip pocket here. There's also plenty more storage that I'm just not using in this bag. If there is a list of longer kit, which there will be usually in the winter races, then you'll probably end up using a bit more of that storage, or you'll end up going for a bit of a bigger pack. that's kind of the extent of what I'd be carrying. Feeling pretty light, given all this stuff is in my pack, but at the same time, I know with confidence that I've got everything that I need. There we go. Good to go.